yesterday we didn't record them that much because we were hanging out with Lizzie and Patrick for a bit because we surprised them, and we are actually where all the so guys, if there's background noise, there's cars driving through because this is a huge place, but this is all the names that weren't, all the bodies that weren't found in war. This is World War I? Yeah, World War I. And Adams, Aldridge, AG, which are privates. There's so many names here. There's names on the outside of it as well. Yeah. And inside. But yeah. And all the decoration. It's beautiful. But it kind of makes you think, where are these bodies? Like, where will they be found? And there's still names being added. Yeah. So they're probably going to be adding a lot more. But there's so many. But if you keep walking down here, because they've got to not end up with how many are exactly in here?
54,000 names of soldiers that have fallen during the First World War. During the First World War, during the 1914-18 conflict, the whole area around where we are in Ypres at the moment was a huge battlefield, and for 4 years many millions of people lost their lives during the conflict on both sides, both on the Allied side and on the German side. But where we are at the moment is the Menin Gate, which leads into the town of Ypres, or Ypres, depending which language you speak, whether you're speaking French or German. And the whole of the archway is lined with the names of 54,000 men that have actually passed away during the battles, but no one actually knows where they are.
Yeah.
So, as it says on the plaque behind you, here are the recorded names of officers and men who fell in Ypres salient, but to whom the fortune of war denied the known of war, the fortune of war denied the known and honoured burial, given to their comrades in death. As I said, 54,000 men from all parts of the Allied forces are all on the plaques here, as you can see. Each and every evening as well, at 8 o'clock, there is the last post is marked here at Ypres. It's actually the firemen of Ypres who actually played the last post and have done ever since the last endings of World War I. So they have carried the tradition on now for nearly 100 years.
Yeah, and if you've noticed, a lot of people going through that archway, there are poppies there. I think there's some on this side as well. Yeah. If we go up the stairs here, they've got lots of wreaths, even going up the stairs, and there's names here. Did you supply some of these?
Yeah, all the red ones have actually come from where I work at the Royal British Legion in England.
Yep.
All the different types of wreaths as well. It can be private individuals, it can be schools, it can be regiments. So anything you see in red is what we have supplied.
So these ones, but they're wet because it's been raining recently. Well, this one's got a tie-dye effect right now. These are all names. Who supplies that one?
That one is a Belgian one.
And
a Dutch one.
This is the Dutch one, apparently. We've got names here on the 84th. Here. We keep going up the stairs here. I've never actually been up here.
This part is actually called the ramparts. It's a medieval defence that the town of Ypres had, as you can see if you look over. Between the river and the town, there's a huge wall which was here to prevent attack. Unfortunately, during the 1418, it was breached a number of times. So,
but now it's just there's bits of the wall missing, bits of the rock fallen. Go get off the dirt now. It's all wet. But this is Ypres. And then what side is that one?
again, that's Ypres.
Yeah.
But this is the central part of Ypres.
Yeah, because it's the memorial part. And there's the
local
bells,
church. Later on, what we'll show you is the actual cathedral.
Yes.
Where Kat mentioned last night about cats being thrown from the top of.
I wasn't. The actual cats thrown off. But you can see here people have been up here adding personal ones. And they've been writing on them. And all of these names, oh, you're out of focus. Focus. There we go. But there's lots of writing on these ones. But they've been smudged because water gets in.
This plaque here is the addenda. It's a special plaque in the fact that these are the names that have been added on since the memorial was built. These are people that when they've been going through records and when they've been going through files, they've found that these poor men have actually still been missing. So their names have been added on.
And then also you can kind of tell these have been painted in and they're darker than the ones downstairs. So these are the ones that have been added. But also look at that. It's so beautiful but also sad at the same time. These are a lot of names.
There are a couple of interesting names here. If you see there's a name and then it says it's served as. During the 1914-18 conflict, a lot of British soldiers had to lie about their age so they could sign up. There was a strict age limit of 17 to sign up to serve in the forces.
And I also know who was the youngest that ever served. It was a 9-year-old, 10-year-old.
And
about my age.
They used to lie about their age, and they would actually give false details as well. So they'd give a false name, usually their mum's maiden name, just so that they could actually sign up and join their comrades on the front line. There's
a lot of bakers and Baileys and columns and stuff. Oh, there's lieutenants here. Ash. Oh, focus camera. Ash, Farr, Gillen, Ferguson.
It's not just based on privates or corporals or sergeants. All ranks are remembered here.
Like lieutenant.
You can see there's a lieutenant colonel,
captain,
majors, captains, sergeants.
Regiment. There's a lot of different ones, and there's even. And some of these seem very, like corporal, seems normal, but lance sergeant, you won't really see. And these are all like T's and S's, beginning with names. And I love how people have been stuffing poppies inside the cracks. Oh. But yeah, it's so cold up here.
These are all the lines. These are all the battle lines.
Yeah, so we just came back out here and I just noticed this. I think other women, 2 women were looking at this before us. But what is it about?
It's basically to tell you all about the battle lines that were fought. As you can see, they're all different dates. So June 17, July 17, and then you've got just outside Ypres is the biggest war cemetery in Europe at Tyncott.
Yeah.
But these are all the battle lines. So Ypres was one of the last places to actually be liberated in 1918. If you have a look though, some of the figures that we have are quite frightening. At the time, during 1418, the French had a population of 40 million. They lost 1.25 million and had 4 million wounded.
Wow.
The British Empire was 332 million, over 1 million killed, over 2 million wounded. The Belgians only had a population of 3 million and lost 13,800 souls.
Dad, that says 8 million.
Okay, sorry, 8 million. My eyes aren't working. And then you've got Germany and Austria, who lost 1.5 million and 3.5 million wounded.
Yeah. But that's astonishing numbers down.
Yeah.
And it just tells you, like, the First World Belgium in 1918. It says, like, the dates, and then it tells you storyline of what happened. I really recommend coming here because you get to know what happened before, like, after the war and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna go see a cemetery soon, aren't we? I'll be filming a cemetery that my dad, who's in the cemetery we're gonna go have a look at. Who's in the cemetery that we?
My great uncle, chap by the name of Leonard Greatrex.
Yeah.
Fought with the Gloucestershire Regiment. Unfortunately, got injured on the front line in 17.
Wasn't he trying to help someone?
He was injured whilst fighting on the front line. He managed to get evacuated to the railway sidings where British and Allied troops were evacuated back to the UK. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries and he's currently buried here in Ypres.
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm trying to vlog. But yeah, we're gonna go see him after picking up my mum. Oh, what's this one, Dad? It has a red kind of dog in it.
That's actually Wolverhampton Wanderers, the football club. A lot of the Premier teams sent representatives over.
Oh, like the scouts.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But my dad supplies all the red ones. But he doesn't really supply these ones. These are specially made ones and they're actual flowers. That one's pretty.
It's a Belgian one.
But they're very serious about this because really this is like very constitutional to them and they love what people done for the war. But I'm gonna say peace out and we're gonna probably see you at the gravesite. So bye.
Sidings.
No.
Right, where we are at the moment is the railway sidings burial ground. During the 1914-18 conflict, as I explained in the earlier video, any medical casualties were evacuated to Ypres, basically for the railway links. As you can see at the moment, you can see the railway line which links into the coast. So this huge plot of land here was where the military casualties were evacuated to. Unfortunately though, a lot of them did succumb to their injuries because of the distance they travelled. Medical cover wasn't exactly the best in 1917 and people just basically couldn't survive their injuries. So as you see here, a lot of the poor lads that came here trying to get home, this is their final resting place. So one of my relatives, my great uncle, Len Greatrex, is buried here, and we'll go inside and we'll show you where he's buried.
So this is the map of all the...
These are all the actual fronts. This is the western front and the eastern front. And as it says here, where we're actually stood at the moment, the railway dugout, was an advanced dressing station. This particular cemetery contains the graves of 1,661 British, 636 Canadian, 154 Australian, 3 New Zealand, 3 Indian, 1 West Indian, 4 German and 2 unidentified soldiers. So in just this one plot alone, there's over 2,500 men buried.
Blimey.
It's only a tiny little gravesite as well.
Well, it's not tiny. There's a lot of graves.
But we've got, and also it'll tell you what type of
Regiment they were in.
Regiment, and also if they were, if what god they believed in and stuff. I forget what it is.
Religion.
Religion, yeah. Oh, we found where
Well, we'll try and find the ones. There's two that haven't been got names, and I think they're over by your uncle's
grave, yeah.
grave.
Well, not my uncle's.
It's your uncle, great uncle.
Yeah, my great uncle. And also, I bought him a nice cross because last time we were here, quite a while back, we got him a
wreath
with his regiment on.
Yeah.
Because we found out what regiment he was online. So Dad's over there right now, trying to find him. He's over there somewhere. We can see how far back this goes.
Goes right back to the road.
Yeah. And lots of people have got wreaths and stuff. And some of these have been, they've got flowers on and stuff, but okay, so we just had to look online where he was, and Dad found him right here. They've taken the wreath off, but we still got our crosses here that we left last time, and we're just going to add this new one. So let's say we'll add it right here, and yeah, and that's his regiment, Egypt regiment, and it doesn't say what age he was. 7th of May 1917
is when he passed away. He wouldn't have been much more than 25 years of age at the time. So
And that was through medical
he actually,
difficulties, weren't it? That
he
wasn't.
actually died here, being evacuated back to the UK.
Yeah.
So.
Because is it right, some of these here haven't actually got the bodies to the...
That's right, yeah. Some of the... because they could not be identified, they didn't have the DNA techniques that we have in this at the moment. In 1917 there was no way, if their tags had been removed and things like that, they had no way of identifying who they were.
No.
So a lot of the lads that actually passed away here aren't actually in this area, they're actually in a mass grave. But the stone's still here to commemorate.
Yeah, so the family's got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And they're adding new stones all the time, aren't
Absolutely. They're still finding lads coming through the whole area, anywhere between Arras and Albert in France, which is probably about 60-70 miles away, across in that direction, all the way through to Zonnebeek and to Passchendaele, which is probably about another 15-20 miles that way.
Yeah.
The whole area, they're still finding things all the time. It's sad.
Yeah,
it really is.
after 100 years as well.
100 years.
Yeah. I mean, we would have done the 100-year celebration, but unfortunately we couldn't get down here for that. That's why we're doing this today, because we've come to see Patrick and Lizzie, who we now are signed up to help. Yeah. So we come down and we help as much as we can when we can.
Yeah. But the oldest person in this little run here was 39 when he died.
Yeah.
So
just an interesting one. Just if you down from where Len is, you'll see that some of the stones have actually got pebbles on top. If you ever go to a war cemetery and you see pebbles on top of the gravestone,
yeah, I did wonder.
It means they're Jewish.
Oh right.
The actual person was of the Jewish faith. Oh. So it's tradition for stones to be put on top of the headstone.
Oh right.
The whole area here, the whole cemetery, is maintained by a group called the Commonwealth War Graves Commission.
And they do a lovely job.
And they look after every war cemetery in the world.
Yeah.
So whether it be UK, Belgium, France, Germany, all the way through to Australia, New Zealand, are all maintained by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, and they're maintained to a really high standard.
I was going to say they're lovely stones, isn't it? You wouldn't know they'd been here this long.
We've just come across, moving through the cemetery, the grave of H.H. Cliff from the Australian Infantry, the 4th Battalion, who fell in 16, and a member of his family has obviously come from Australia, and there is actually a picture of H.H. Cliff. God bless you, sir.
He looks so young. I just walking past it and saw that.
Very young. Too young.
As you can see as well, some of the stones do actually have their ages on them as well.
Yeah.
3 graves along, 21.
Yeah.
Two behind that are 22.
Yeah.
21, 29.
But is it true that some of these people haven't actually got true ages because they lied?
Yeah, as I said in the previous video, when we were looking at the stones on the Menin Gate,
Yeah.
you'll see that some of them actually served under a different name.
Yeah.
Because the age of conscription was so high, a lot of the lads that wanted to go and join their friends and family on the battle lines actually lied about their age and said they were 17 when they were 14, 15. They used their mother's maiden names in the majority to actually disguise who they were so they could actually come over.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know the youngest person who ever actually fought was 10, 9. So he was actually very young and ran away from home.
And there's one here, 19. Next to him.
We don't know.
We don't know who.
The soldier of the Great War. This is a 19-year-old. And this is one that they haven't found yet.
And
Not
don't
his
know
body anyway.
who he is.
But they've put a stone known unto God. If you can see that. It's so cold. My hands are shaking.
Yeah, sorry guys if the camera's shaking a lot, we're freezing.
But all these are Australian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All Australian.
I remember the youngest ones are over there and the oldest ones are over there. Because I remember I was walking past this and I saw a 14-year-old.
They was all too young to die,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, with a 19.
19.
19. Kids.
Yeah. Babies.
And they've kept all the Aussies together.
Yeah. What makes it easy to find them? As a family, if you know. But if you do want to find your family, what do you need to do?
If you log on to Commonwealth War Graves Commission's website, CWCG, enter any basic details, if it's even just a name or where they've served, they will search all the records for World War I or World War II, and they will find the location. If they're buried and they've been identified, they'll tell you exactly.
Yeah, and they give you a map of where they are and everything else.
Where they are, that location of the headstone, so please look it up.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Just a quick one we forgot to mention as well. As Commonwealth War Graves manage all of these sites around France, Belgium, etc., if you have a look in the arches here, one of the arches will actually have a file inside in the archway, and it actually lists the names of everyone that's in a particular cemetery.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so we've now come to Tyne Cot Cemetery is the biggest in the area, if not in the whole of the northern part of Europe. Over 15,000 bodies buried here, plus the names of 35,000 soldiers that fell and don't actually have a resting place.
that's all 35,000 names of bodies not found, people not found.
As I said earlier about sightings, buried here, so
Do you want to get that?
time card. It's a substantial size book,
Yeah.
and it lists the names in alphabetical order. It also lists where they were, age, and the grave reference as well.
Yeah, so it's easy to find. And then you've got a visitor's book, which once you've been and had a look around, you can give your feedback or leave a message.
Yeah.
And just as an aside, surname Howarth.
Oh, yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Howarths. Just to give you a story there, Sergeant G. Howarth there at the top of the North Lancashire Regiment, 1917. Son of Mrs. Alice Howarth of Manchester Road, Bolton, and it gives his grave reference number.
We were going to go to a building over there, but it's locked during December
And January, so when we come back in a few months' time, eh, Dad?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll take you round now.
Yeah.
Let's just have a quick look, because this is huge, as you can see. So in total, I was just asking my husband, Pete, in total 35,000 up there.
35,000 names on the back wall.
Yeah, and how many in
Physical, 15,000. So that's over 50,000
just in
names
this area?
just in this one cemetery.
And then add it to the wall
If you add
of...
it to the walls on the Menin Gate in Ypres, which is 54,000, so yeah, 90,000 names of men. We don't know where they are.
Yeah, body's not been found. But luckily enough, we do have their names, so at least if and ever they did get found, we could theoretically reunite them together so their family can know where they definitely are. Still getting very blurry. Now.
Okay, just as a point here, this particular part of Tynecott, as it's marked there, this was the blockhouse, so this was the part of the battlefield that was captured by the 3rd Australians. It was captured on the 4th of October 1917. So 101 years ago, this part of the battlefield